Hello students, welcome to EduCAD. Let us continue with the part 2 of this 50 most important MCQs from Gupta and Gupta in the surveying lecture series. So let's get started. So we have our next question. If a tripod settles in the interval that elapses between taking a backside reading and the following foresight reading, then the elevation of turning point will increase, decrease, not change, either A or B. So let's look at this. So let's say we have set up our instrument station here, and this is our benchmark. We have held a staff here and taken our first reading. Okay, so let's take this distance as h1. So our height of instrument will be how much? It will be RL plus this height h1, right? So this was our backside reading. Next, let's say we took some readings here, and then finally this is the foresight reading which we took. So let's say this distance as h2. So what it is asking, like it's saying that the tripod has settled in the interval that elapses between taking a backside and the following foresight reading. Then the elevation of turning point will be, let's say this is our turning point. So when the tripod would not have settled, then in that case the RL of TP would have been how much? It would have been this height of instrument, which is RL plus h1 minus h2, right? But it's saying that it has settled, so let's say it has settled by amount delta, and let's say this is our new position of the instrument. So it will take this reading as the foresight, right? Let's say this is h3, and the new RL of the TP turning point will be HI, height of instrument, this HI minus, instead of h2, h3 will be there, right? This is the new RL. So you can clearly see, you can compare these two, and since h3 is smaller than h2, this value hi minus h3, or we can say the new RL, will be greater than the previous RL, right? So because of the settling of the instrument, we can see that the RL is getting increased. So our correct option would be A. It will increase. I think this should be clear. Let's move ahead. So a level line is a horizontal line parallel to the mean spheroidal surface of the earth, line passing through the center of the crosshair and the center of the eyepiece, line passing through the objective lens and the eyepiece of a dumpy level or tilting level. So the basic difference between a level line and a horizontal line is that the level line, let's say this is the surface of our earth, so the level line will be curved, and horizontal line, if say this is our instrument, and the horizontal line, when you will sight it, it will be straight. So this is the basic difference between a horizontal line and a level line. So it's asking a level line is a horizontal line, no. Line parallel to the mean spheroidal surface of the earth, yes. Line passing through the center of the crosshair and the center of the eyepiece, no. If it would have asked center of crosshair and the center of objective lens, then in that case this would have been our line of sight. And when line of sight becomes perfectly horizontal, then we say that is our line of collimation. These few things you should keep in mind, and let's move ahead. So with the rise in temperature, the sensitivity of the bubble tube, let's look at this. The sensitivity depends upon the radius of curvature of our bubble tube. It increases with increase in the radius of curvature of our bubble tube. Second, it increases with the length of R bubble, so the sensitivity will increase if we increase the length of the bubble. Thirdly, it will decrease with rise in temperature. Sensitivity will decrease with rise in temperature because when we like what's this asking here, right? When we increase the temperature, the viscosity of the fluid also increases and it offers more resistance to the movement of the bubble. So in that case, our sensitivity will decrease. So A would be the correct option. Let's move ahead. The sensitivity of a bubble tube can be increased by increasing the diameter of the tube, decreasing the length of the bubble, increasing the viscosity of the liquid, decreasing the radius of curvature of the tube. So the correct answer just now we discussed with this question would be increasing the diameter of the tube or the radius of curvature. Decreasing the length of the bubble, no, we need to increase the length of the bubble to increase the sensitivity. Increasing the viscosity of the liquid, no, we need to decrease the viscosity. Decreasing the radius of the curvature of the tube, no, we need to increase it, right? Let's move ahead. The rise and fall method of the leveling provides a complete check on backside, immediate side, foresight, all of the above. So the one reason why the rise and fall method is superior than the height of instrument method is because it provides a check on intermediate side along with backside and foresight. So the rise and fall method actually provides a complete check on backside, intermediate side and foresight. So all of the above will be the correct option. Next, in an internal focusing type of telescope, the lens provided is concave, convex, plano-convex, plano-concave. So you need to remember this, that in case of a internal focusing type telescope, the lens provided is of concave nature. Next, so the suitable contour interval for a map with a scale 1:10,000 is, so let's try to look at this. The contour interval is given as 20 upon the number of centimeter in a kilometer. You need to remember this formula. So we have our scale equals to 1:10,000. Yes, so we can write this as 1 centimeter equal to 10,000 centimeter. Let's convert this 10,000 centimeter into kilometer. So we need to divide this by 10 to the power of 5. So it will come out to be 0.1 kilometer, right? So from this we got that in 0.1 kilometer we have 1 centimeter. So in 1 kilometer how many centimeters will we have? So we need to multiply this by 10. So 10 centimeters will get, and this unit is meters, like 20 divided by number of centimeter in a kilometer, and this contour interval will come in meters. Now let's put this 10. So we in 1 kilometer we have got 10 centimeters. So let's apply this in this formula. So contour interval will be equal to 20 upon number of centimeter in a kilometer, we got it as 10 meters. Provide, like, do the simple simplification here. So 2 meter will get as our contour interval. So option A is correct. I think this should be clear. Let's look at the next problem. Which of the following methods of contouring is most suitable for a hilly terrain? Direct method, square method, cross sections method, or tachymetric method? So you need to remember this, that while performing the contouring operation on a hilly terrain, tachymetric method is the best suitable method. Next, the size of a plane table is a 750 millimeter into 900 millimeter, 600 millimeter into 750 mm, 450 mm into 600 mm, and 300 mm into 450 mm. So the correct size of the plane table is 600 mm into 750 mm. Next, the transit rule of adjusting the consecutive coordinates of a traverse is used where linear and angular measurements of the traverse are of equal accuracy. No. when the linear and the angular measurements are of almost equal accuracy, we use here Bordich rule. Okay, angular measurements are more accurate than linear measurements, linear measurements are more accurate than the angular measurements, all of them. So we use the transit rule when the angular measurement are more precise than the linear measurement. So in that case, option B will the right answer. Okay, let's see our next question. The Bordich method of adjusting a traverse is based on the assumption that E1 is, okay, these all options are there, where E1 and E2 are the errors in linear and angular measurements respectively, and L is the length of a line. So E1 is the error in the linear measurement and E2 is the error in the angular measurement. So you need to remember this, that in Bordich rule, the error in the linear measurement is directly proportional to square root of the length, and in angular measurement is inversely proportional to the square root of L, or the length of the line. So let's see which option is matching here. E1 directly proportional to L, E2, so okay, so option A will be the correct option here. Okay, let's move ahead. Okay, so if the intercept on a vertical staff is observed as 0.75 meter from a tachyometer, the horizontal distance between the tachyometer and the staff station will be, okay, so they are asking D, and we have the formula D is equals to Ks plus C. I assume you would have studied this. D is equals to Ks plus C, where K is the multiplying constant and C is the additive constant. So in case of a tachyometer, you should remember that we have multiplying constant value as 100 and the additive constant value equals to 0. So now let's use these values here. So D will be equal to, S value we have been given as 0.75 meter, then staff intercept, vertical in staff intercept, and K we know it is 100 plus C we know it is 0. So this will come out to be how much? This would come out to be 75 meters. So D would be correct option. Let's look at our next problem. So the angle subtended by the long chord of a simple circular curve at its center is equal to. So let's look at this with the help of this figure, that so this is our curve. Okay, so this is our deflection angle delta. Let me try to clear it a bit. Yeah, this will be our radius, and this from here to here, this will be our length of long chord, which we represent by capital L. Okay, and these two angles will be delta by 2. I have also covered this part in detail in one of the videos, you can go and check this out. Okay, so let's look at this small triangle, and if we apply the sine rule over here, so we'll get this as length. So what is asking, let's first look at the question. The angle subtended by the long chord of the simple circular curve at the center is equal to, so it's just asking what this long chord will, the angle it will subtend at the center. So it will be equal to delta by 2 plus delta by 2, or nothing, it will be equal to our deflection angle delta. So this will be A, angle of deflection. Let's look at our next question. So if the radius of a circular curve is 5 times the length of the transition curve, okay, then the spiral angle is given by, so the spiral angle alpha, you can take it as alpha, is given by L upon 2R. This is the formula. Okay, and they have asked in radians only. Okay, so L, and they have given that the radius of the circular curve is 5 times the length of the transition curve. So R is 5 times the L. Okay, so this will get cancelled out, and 1 by 10 radians will get as our answer. If they would have asked in degree, we need to multiply this value by 180 by pi. I think this should be clear. Let's look at our next problem. So the total angle of deflection of a transition curve is spiral angle by 2, spiral angle by 3, spiral angle by 4. So the angle of deflection is equal to spiral angle by 3. This formula you need to remember. So C will be the correct option. The shape of the vertical curve generally provided is circular, parabolic, spiral, elliptical. So this also has been this is a part of uh, highway engineering, wherein you might be remembering that we have two kinds of vertical curve, the summit curve and the valley curve, and the ideal shape is for the summit curve it's square parabola, and for valley curve is cubic parabola. So it's just asking the shape, so circular, parabolic, spiral, elliptical, so parabolic will be the shape. Okay, let's look at the next problem. So this is a match the following problem where list 1 and list 2 are given. So these are some equipments which we generally use in surveying and their functions. So let's match them. So first is the clinometer. So let's look at our option first. So for first we have 1 and 3 only. So we need to look at 1 and 3 only. So first, area measuring instrument, no. Clinometer is it's an angle measuring instrument. So A will be 3. Let's look at B. So it's asking about pantograph. So once we have 3, so B in both the options, so our options will be either B or C, D, right? 3 3. B is already given here, that 4. So plan enlarging instrument. So pantograph is a plan enlarging instrument. Let's look at C, tellurimeter. Tellurimeter is a equipment which we use using the microwave technology. So we use microwaves with tellurimeter. So option 5 will be for the tellurimeter. And Gauss tracer. Gauss tracer is used for measuring the gradient or for finding the gradient. We use Gauss tracer. So D will be 2. 3 4 5 2. Option D will be correct. Okay, I think this should be clear. Let's move ahead. So a plot of land 60 meter into 20 meter is measured by a steel tape. If the standard error of length and width measured is taken as plus minus 1 centimeter, then the standard error of the area of the plot would be. Okay, so let's look at this. So for area of a rectangular plot we have L into B, right? So first we need to do the partial differentiation of this area with respect to each one of them. So let's say first we do with respect to breadth, we get this as L. Then we partially differentiate the area with respect to length and we get this as B, right? And for both the length and the breadth, the error which is given is plus minus 1 centimeter. So what's this asking here? The standard error of the area. So they are asking the error in area, right? So for this, for rectangular we have this formula that error in area will be equal to error in length into del A by del B square plus error in so this should be del A by del L. Then similarly error in breadth, so both are E only, so we can just write it as E into del A upon del B square. So you need to solve this using this formula, and the answer we should get it as how much? I think this should be the value 0.632. So you need to put the values here. So for first we'll use 1 centimeter into del A by del, just you need to put the value of L 60 and square plus 1 into what this is 20 and square, and this value will be getting it in centimeters, so you need to convert this in millimeters, meter. So this is the value which you should be getting. Let's look at the next problem. So parallax bar is used to measure parallax difference in elevation or the relief displacement. So the parallax bar is used to measure the parallax difference. Okay, next, the length of long chord of a simple circular curve of radius r and angle of deflection delta is. So it's asking the length of long chord. So I think I drew the diagram in the last slide, so let's draw it once again. So this is our angle of deflection delta, this is our length of long chord from here till here, this is our radius, and these angles are delta by 2 and delta by 2. So when you will apply the sine formula here, let's apply it only. Sine delta by 2, so how much this will be? This is L by 2 and this again is L by 2. So sine delta by 2 will come out to be L upon 2 upon hypotenuse, so this will be R. So L will come out to be 2R sine delta upon 2, right? So C would be the right option. I have also covered this in detail in one of my videos, you can check that out. Let's look at our next question. So setting out a simple circular by two theodolite method does not require angular measurement, linear measurement, both the angular and the linear measurement, none of the above. So when you are using two theodolites while setting out a simple circular curve, you don't need the linear measurements. So B would be the right option. From both the instrument you will be measuring the angular measurement you will be taking, and you will be setting out the curve. So in that case you don't need the linear measurements. Next question. If the focal length of the object class is 25, so F it has given, and the distance from the object class to the Trunnion axis is 15 centimeter, D, the additive constant C each. So C, formula for that is F plus D. So you just need to sum these two values, 15 and 25 centimeter, you will get this as 0.4 meter. So B will be the right option. Next, after fixing the plane table to the tripod, the main operations which are needed at each plane table stations are leveling, orientation, centering. The correct sequence of these operations are, so correct sequence will be, first you need to level it, so first, then you need to center it, and then orient it. So the correct option would be 1, sequence would be 1, 3 and 2. Options are not mentioned here, so 1, 3 and 2. Okay, I think this should be clear. So that was it. This was the 50 most important question which I thought very important and could come up in the coming up examinations. If you ended up liking this video, please share it among your friends and also consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you.